All right, welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association, the Toma Nation, right here at 616 East on 71st Street. We are all-inclusive, Black conscious, righteous movement, and we've been in the Black community for over 30 years, trying to get our people to understand what needs to be done in order to improve our race as a people. My name is Minister Omari Jahi Aton. I'm the co-founder of this great movement, along with our founder, Minister Rahim Kased Aton, and our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. I'd just like to open up with our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, is he who's made the sunships of millions of years, and he who's made time the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton. He's known among the Hebrews as Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim. He's known among the Christians as Lord God and Jehovah, and among the Muslims and the Islamic world as Allah, the one God. He's known among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one Almighty God, and it's to that one Almighty God whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I further proclaim that I proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the planet Earth flow through our veins. I greet you, my brothers and my sisters, and the children in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which are Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. All right, I would like to open up our entertainment section. You know, we always start off with a little entertainment. I have a poem. Well, actually, the title of my lecture or speech with you today is Karma, C-A-R-M-A, Karma. What you put out, you definitely get back. And so I have a poem that I'd like to read that addresses karma for those who may, and you know, the reason that I'm doing this, because I believe there's a lot of young people, because they have disconnected us, the elderly or the people that have experience, I call it wisdom, people with experience, you know, they've disconnected us from our youth to the point to where there's a lot of things that what you would call universal knowledge or laws that have not been passed down to our younger generations. And so I just wanted to put this out here for maybe some 10, 20 years later, some person might look at this video and they be like, karma, what is that? You know, and so they'll have an idea of what, because karma is very, very important. If you don't understand karma, believe me, karma will beat you and beat you and beat you, and you'll be a beat to a pulp and don't even know how you got there. And it was all your fault because you didn't understand what karma was about. But check this out. They call me karma. This is the poem. Hello, my name is Payback. They call me karma for short. I'm the one we all rely on to settle the score. Won the battle, you may, but the war is far from done. And when at least expected is when it's my turn to have fun. You'll soon see what it feels like to have it done to you. Humble, I will make you before this night is through. So before you think of hurting another, don't forget, it is I that they call karma, but it is you who will regret. That's that piece, y'all. That's how they say it. All right. So let's just jump right on into it. What is karma? You heard in the poem, karma is payback. In the title of the lecture, what you put out, you definitely get back. You know, it sounds like a bank account. You don't put any money in your bank account, you can't get nothing out. So this thing called karma is the sum of a person's action in this, a previous existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existence. So let's just look at that. The sum of a person's actions. See, a lot of times we don't really understand that the things that we do have an effect on what happens to you in your life. It also affects future things that are going to happen to you, or it may be viewed as deja vu even sometimes. And deja vu is a feeling of having already experienced the present situation. So karma, if you really want to look at it, it's a universal law that teaches us that you have to be very mindful of the things that you do and very mindful of the things that you say. So, but now let's look at it. How does this thing called karma works? We stated earlier, what goes around comes around. You know, in the Bible, it says, cast your bread among the water, in many days, it'll come back to you. You think they really talking about bread? No, they're telling you, whatever you put out. Give you an example. Let's say you just a hateful soul. You walk around, you can't stand nobody. Nobody can't stand you. You every time you meet somebody, you give them attitude and you just, well, I'm even give you a better example. Let's say you're a liar. You can't tell the truth to save your life. And then down the line, somebody offers you, because you're in need, offers you a job, or tells you that they know where you can go and apply and get the job, and you can just give them my name and they'll hire you right on the spot. And you needed this job in order to, because your rent was due and you didn't have no money. And so now this person came through for you, right? And told you to go down there and get that job and apply. And you went and applied and everything, and you were sure that you was going to get it because your friend told you that they had your back, right? You told your landlord, just give me 1 week and I'll have your rent because I just started a new job. Even though you ain't started yet, but you sure about it because your friend told you they had your back. Then you found out that you didn't get the job because guess what? Your friend's nephew needed a job. And guess what your friend did? He referred his nephew over you. And so you got kicked out in the street. That's karma. See? Even though I'm sure your friend probably didn't lie to you purposely like you do, you know, as a liar. But the effect is still the same. You trusted that person's word and they didn't come through for you simply because they had to look out for their nephew, right? So how does this thing work? We talked about what you say, lying and things of that nature. But what about what you do? You know, I always tell this story about my son. Him and I pulled into a gas station. And he found, well, not he didn't find it. I found the wallet laying on the ground when I got out to pump my gas. and it had $90 in it. And to make a long story short, he wanted us to split the $90, even though I found it. So I don't know why he thought he deserved some of it. But anyway, he thought we should split the $90. He get 45 and I get 45. But I'm like, no. The wallet had an ID in it, the person's name, their address. And so I said, no, I'm going to return this wallet to this person because I'm sure they probably need this $90. And he just looked at me like, man, are you stupid? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do something like that? And so I pumped my gas. I got in my car. I drove to the address on the ID that was in the wallet. The guy wasn't at home, but his sister was there. So I gave the wallet to his sister and told her that he had dropped it probably out of his pocket when he was pumping gas. She was very happy that her brother got his wallet back. But now here's the kicker. The next day, my son was going on prom. And at the prom, he lost his wallet. Now, on prom, I gave him some money. His mama gave him some money. He had all kind of money in that wallet, right? He lost his wallet. And do you know that when he called back at that restaurant, or that place, I can't remember if it was a restaurant or what, I think it was a restaurant, where they had their prom, that the manager said, yes, we found your wallet. We put it in the safe. You can come and get it tomorrow. Now, that was good karma. You see what I'm saying? Because karma, it ain't just bad. Because if you put good out, you get good in return. And so it was a learning experience for him, even though I was the one that put the good karma out. He was learning what karma was all about. And so when he lost his wallet, I said, see there? I said, what if we had kept that man's money yesterday? I wonder if the manager would have found your wallet. And he's like, oh man, that's kind of deep. See, and so this thing, karma, this universal law that what you put out, you definitely get back. I don't think people really understand it, or maybe you might not even believe in. Maybe you think it's just some folklore or something that like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy or something like that. But it's not. This is real. You put out negativity and you wonder why you live a very stressful and negative life. Because whatever you put out, it comes back to you. You check this out. What if you ask to borrow $100 from a friend and promise to pay them back in 3 days when you get your check? In 3 days, your check is short. And you can only pay back your friend or purchase an outfit, or as the young people call it, your drip. I just learned that, I work with some young people. They call outfits drip now. I don't know what that means. But anyway, you only have enough money because your check was short to pay your friend back or to get your outfit you intend to wear to your birthday party that weekend. Whatever you decide creates karma. If you decide to pay your friend, what is that? What kind of karma is that creating? That's good karma. What does that mean? That means because you kept your word to your friend, then that same thing is going to come around to you, to whereas when people give you their word, they're going to come through for you. Why? Because you put it out like that, and that's what you're going to get back. I hear some of y'all out there in Facebook land. I put out good karma, and all these Negroes, all they do is just backbite me and stab me in the back, and I hear you. I hear all that you are saying, but I don't think you really know yourself or really pay attention to yourself to the point to whereas if you got a lot of people backbiting you, I'm more than 100% certain that you are a backbiter. It's just probably you don't think about it because of the people that you're talking about. Oh, look at that! You sitting on the bus. Look at that girl over there. She should have never came out with her hair looking like that. Who does she think she is? That is just ridiculous. Look like she's walking around with a rag doll on her head. You think you can talk about people and don't think that people are talking about you. I tell this story all the time. This is one of my favorite stories about a guy that gets on the bus, a CTA bus. And he rides this bus every day going to work. And when he gets on the bus, he sits in the seat, and whenever he looks across the aisle, it's always an ugly person sitting in the seat across from him. And he just be busting up laughing. He's like, dang, every day there's some ugly person sitting in the seat across from me in the aisle. Until one day he got on the bus and he looked across the aisle and the person was laughing. You know why? Because he was the ugly person sitting across from him. You see, and we don't think like this. That the stuff that we put out, what comes out of our mouth, we don't have no kind of filter or nothing on what we say and what we will and won't do. There's no, because morality or standards, I even say, has just been eliminated. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like doing seems to be the order of the day. And I'm giving this lecture today to try to help you to understand this is why you are going through hell. This is why. Because you want to live a life with no standards. There's no line that you won't cross. You know, there used to be a saying, draw a line. There's a line that I won't cross. I don't care what happens. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to do this, that, and another. You draw a line, and no matter what happens, you never cross that line. These are standards that we create in order to keep our lives and keep ourselves in line with karma. But if you blur all the lines, then we can kind of understand why we see the kind of community that we have today. What's going on in our communities? It's payback. They say payback is a B. And everybody's getting paid back for their actions. And it ain't even about, again, like I said earlier, it's not just about what you do, it's about what you say. See, because the words that come out your mouth can have an effect on people. And because you don't care, then guess what? Don't nobody care about you and your feelings either. You see how that works? If I don't care for you, then guess what? Ain't nobody gonna care for me. This is why I try my best to be respectful to people. Everybody I meet, I try my best to be respectful and treat them as the scriptures say, treat people how you want to be treated. I try my best to do that. Am I successful? 100%? No. But I'm working on it. You see, that's the whole key. Just because I'm not 100% don't mean I'm supposed to quit. You keep doing it until you get 99.9%. You might never get to 100%. But your whole life is about striving for that perfected 100%. Doing what is right. Having standards. Having principles. Excuse me. Y'all kind of loud out there. How you doing? Come on in, have a seat. All right. So if you don't have standards, if you don't have principles and things that you will guide your life by, then this thing called karma has your name, and it will pay you back for everything that you put out. And so I want young people to understand this, because, you know, I don't think our young folks realize that, just like my son didn't realize that karma was real. I think people don't think that it's fake or something, but it's real. And so we experience karma in our life, and a lot of times people cast it off as luck, good luck or bad luck. There's no such thing as luck or good luck or bad luck. It's about you and what you put out. Like I said earlier, it's like a bank account. You don't put no money in, you can't get no money out. What you put in, you can get out. You can't put $5 in and think you're gonna get 100 back. You have to put in what you expect to get out. So if you want people to treat you with respect, then guess what? You got to be respectful. Now, does that mean that you can only be respectful to the people you like and disrespectful to the people that you don't like? Then guess what? People that don't like you will be disrespectful to you. And it don't matter. Because see, people, you can dislike a person just because they don't look right. It's something about you I just don't like. I don't know what it is. It's something, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's your voice. Your voice irritates me. Anything. And so now you treat this person a certain way because of some off-the-wall reason that you can't really explain. Then guess what? Now you wonder why, when I went on that job interview, the person that interviewed me act like I beat up her daughter or something, or I kicked her dog and stumped her cat or something. She don't even know me. Why she treated me like that? Guess why? Because you put it out there and it came back to you. And so now you didn't get the job. But if you had been the type of person that didn't treat people like that, then that interviewer would have been returning your good karma back to you. Now, I know some of y'all think I'm just making this up, but try it. I know it works. I know for a fact. And you know what else? This thing dealing with churches, paying tithes. Do you know that they say when you pay tithes, that 10% is what you owe God, and the 90% that you get, because guess what? God allowed you to get the whole thing, but all he asks is for you to give him 10% back, right? And so preachers have been really pimping our people with that concept, making them to believe that you're supposed to give me your money to the church, like this is going to God really when it's really going in his pocket, right? But yet and still, the thing is that when you pay your tithes, and I'll give you an example. I was broke. And my tithes was, well, let me put it like this. It wasn't like I didn't have a job. I got paid and I had a lot of bills. And we all know that story. A whole lot of bills. And I had to, you know, we in the business of robbing Peter, paying Paul, right? And so I had to pay a whole lot of bills. And I had to decide, was I going to be able to pay my tithes? Because after I started calculating, if I paid this bill and that bill and that bill and that bill, I'm not really going to have a whole lot left to carry me over to when my next check comes. So I decided You know, well, I didn't decide. I got to be honest. I came to the temple, and for some reason, the lecture for that day was on tithes, about how that 10% comes off the top. How it ain't the thing whereas you put it like all the other bills, you make a choice. Should I pay this or should I pay that? No, tithes is not a decision that you get to make. It's automatic, off the top, 10%, and then you pay your bills with whatever's left, right? And so after that teaching, I'm like, okay. And I know God was talking to me because I'm the one in the predicament, wondering like, how I'm gonna do this? And so I paid my tithes that day. And do you know when I got home, there was a check in the mail from the light company saying that they had overpaid. I had overpaid in my light bill. And they sent me a $250 check in the mail. Now, would I have really gotten that check if I hadn't paid my tithes? I wonder. Some people would say, yeah, you would have got it anyway. Really? But would I have really? We really don't know. But this is my point. When you do good, good comes back to you. It's hard to do good, though. It's extremely hard, especially with our people, especially. But if you fight hard to do what is right and be consistent, that's the other thing. You have to be consistent at doing right. You can't be right today and be a butthole tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Well, I done built up, like you building up credit. I've been good for 4 months. I done built up credit with God. I can go ahead and put a bat to this person's head because they getting on my nerve. No, you have to be right consistently. Because we don't want to fall into this thing called karma. Which nobody, don't too many people talk about it. They talk about it in the cultural society. Our people that wear African garb and things like that, and they read tarot cards and all that kind of stuff. They talk about karma. They understand it. But the average, you and I, we don't really understand it to the point to where we can work it. It's like any law. There are laws that say that when the light turns red, you have to stop. When it turns green, you can go. It's a law, and it's for a reason, right? This thing, karma, is to keep you in line with God. And God has already told us what he wants of us. He wants us to do unto others as you have them do unto you. With the 10 Commandments, he says, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. And the second commandment is like the first. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. What is a neighbor? The person that is near to you at that moment. Right now, we are all neighbors in this room. But some might think, oh, this is the person that stays next door to me. That's fine too. When you're at home, they are your neighbors. When you are out and about, everybody that is around you are your neighbor. And so you must treat everybody with that kind of respect, or as the poems, like I read earlier in this poem, karma, or say better known as payback, is going to pay you a visit. And a lot of us are being paid back for a lot of stuff that we have done. And then if it don't get you, guess what? Karma passes down to the next.
For joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message